All right. Somebody's recording it now. Well, welcome to the Thailand Online Toastmasters Club. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people here. We're going to have a great meeting because we have a speaker and we just need someone to be an evaluator. Let's see. The evaluator is not assigned yet. Brian cannot. Okay, Brian is the evaluator, but he's also a speaker, so that's not happening. And the other evaluator, Adelia, is not here yet, so we're looking for an evaluator.
I can be evaluator.
And your name?
Ansana.
Ansana. Okay, so Ansana will be evaluator, and he'll be evaluating Brian. So I believe that we're gonna have to go to a round robin, right? Do we have a round robin master?
No, we don't have. To run through the agenda is Toastmaster Anuson, but he's not here yet.
Okay, I can do that. I can go ahead and do that too. So the topic, a round robin topic is, because it's February and it's Valentine, let's do this. Do you believe in love at first sight? I will start with Lee. Toastmaster Wrong Lee. Do you believe in love at first sight?
I would say yes, because I'm married for more than 20 years and we have been together since the first day we met. Yeah. So yes, I do believe in love at first sight.
Nice. Okay, we do need somebody to time. Oh, we just don't care. Okay, let's go.
The timer.
All right. Somebody need to time that. Okay, Willie, do you believe in love at first sight?
Used to, no more. Because you never know the person's character. The person can be very pretty, can be very handsome, but the person can be very angry or it's not a good attire, but they may of a good character. So there's no such thing as first sight. Thank you.
Okay, that's nice. How about Adi? Adi, talk.
Okay, I'm sorry, I might be here, I might sound busy, I might sound very crowded because I'm outside.
It's okay, it's only
okay?
30 seconds, yeah.
Okay, so I think that first sight is not a love, but first impression. So love will be like, love will be getting, love will go on when you get more time with the person and then you get falling in love. So it's a first sight, first impression, and then love is like nurtured. Thank you.
Thank you. That's very good. Sida, since you're here, do you believe in love at first sight? Maybe. Okay, her 30 seconds up. Brian, do you believe in love at first sight?
Based on my experience, I don't believe in love at first sight. So you might be attracted to someone on the first time you see them, but love should be developed. And it takes time, it takes effort, it takes experience for you to fall in love. And for myself, I don't easily fall. So that's why I don't believe in love at first sight.
Okay, thank you. April, next.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters. For me, I don't believe in love at first sight. I would agree with the boys because, yeah, it's an attraction. we are attracted to the physical attribute of the person, because love is deeper than that. You have to get to know that person deeper. You have to love their bad sides, not just the physical or the beauty that you can see from your eyes. And that's it. Thank you.
That's nice. Thank you. Toastmaster Ansana. Toastmaster Ansana. Okay.
Okay. For me, I also don't believe in love at first sight, but I think maybe we just like at first sight. So somebody may have something attractive us, so that we like them first, and then it's the same as other people said, love could be developed later.
Okay. Thank you. How about Doris? Is Doris on? I see the name. Are you with us, Doris? Then let's get it back to Sita then. I know Sita's back on. Sita, do you believe in love at first sight?
Yes, I did believe love in first sight. That man, I think he was the right one for me. He was broke my heart. Love at first sight is just a temporary love, not a permanent or a real love forever.
Okay, thank you. So that concludes our round robin. Do we have anybody else left? I don't see anybody else. Okay, then we'll go to the...
What about you, Miss Pim? What do you think?
I do believe in love at first sight. At that moment, that was love. But of course, it probably not real, so it doesn't last. But it happened. You might be in love for 2 days, but then, and that will go away. So I do believe that that do happen sometimes, depend on who you meet along the way. That's me. Okay? So now, okay, so table topics is also adjust. Somebody else want to volunteer to do table topics, Master? Okay. Maybe 2 or 3, don't have to be a lot. Somebody want to try?
Yeah, maybe want to try.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, good evening, everyone. For the table topics today, I will bring some quote, well-known quote to you, and I'd like you to reply what you think about that quote. Can I ask before we start the table topic master session that how many of you is a table topic contestant?
Not me.
Yeah? No?
Nope.
Okay. So basically for the table topic contest, we will do the quote, not the question. So that today I like to conduct the quote, not the question. All right?
Okay.
Okay, let's start. Who wants to be the first respondent? Any volunteer? If no, I will assign.
Please go ahead and assign us. Yeah.
Okay, so Toastmaster Willie, for your topic is a fighter must have scars.
You type in the chat.
Hello.
Can you type in the chat the question?
The quote is, for you, a fighter must have scars.
Thank you, table topic master. A fighter must have scar.
Right.
If you want to be a winner in any situation, you must fight a battle with sadness, happiness, challenges that will leave scar in your life. We need to know that those challenges, scars, depression, or winners are part of a battle of a fighter. When we become a winner, we'll can strive for a better goals. If we lose the battle as a fighter, all these scars will help us to improve. Over back to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Willie. Scar is a part of our life journey. It is a part to be a better of us. Thank you very much. I like this one. Okay, next for the, can I assign to Toastmaster April? Toastmaster April.
Yes.
Okay, for you is deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do.
Okay, thank you for that table topic, Master Ansana. Deciding not to do is also important as deciding what not to do. Am I correct?
Deciding what not to do is important as deciding what to do.
Okay, so it's like these two opposite side has the same important for me, because when you decide, you have to know first of the consequences of that action, of that decision. For example, helping. Sometimes it's good to help, sometimes it's not good to help. But you have to know the consequences. If you help someone, are you really helping them to be better or to just be lazy? So you have to decide if the consequences, you have to know or to think about first the consequences of that action before you decide. That's it. Thank you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster April. Very short answer for you.
Sorry, I'm nervous.
Yeah, 1 minute. You just only 1 minute. All right.
I have to refresh
you for our time. Okay. Before we decide everything, we think about the consequence before deciding, right? Okay. Thank you very much, Toastmaster April. Next quote. Can I assign to Toastmaster Lee?
Okay.
Toastmaster Lee. A successful man always has a great woman behind.
For me, I'm married to a man, and I think I'm successful, but I don't have a woman. I don't have a wife behind me. So no, I don't think I need to have a woman. It could mean you could mean that to have another partner, but it could be husband and husband. So I don't think this statement is very updated. I've been married for more than 5 years and together for more than 20 years, and we have been quite successful for the past 20 odd years. So I strongly believe that I do not need a wife. But yeah, I not yet met the timing of 1 minute. The no, nothing else to say at the moment. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lee. Very interesting for your part. However, partnership is one of your supportive that behind you, that always support you, even man or woman. Thank you very much for your sharing. Okay, last one for today. Can I assign to you Toastmaster DTM Uncle Chief? Can I assign to you, please?
Wrong, activate your timer.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know how to.
Am I really activate Manicam? Your side on you first.
Pardon me?
Really activate your Manicam, then I can see the timing. Really is busy.
We can see the timing.
Okay,
Device.
never mind. Then I will run my timing device. Okay.
Okay.
Wong, help me type the question.
Okay, for you is
Give me the hardest possible.
okay. A man makes a mistakes. Mistakes make a man.
That is hard.
He asked for it.
Never mind. I've been trained to handle this kind of question. A man makes a mistake. Mistakes makes a man. This statement, although sounds very wordy and mind-blogging, but to me it's nothing because men always make mistakes, and mistakes will make men even better. True? Because life is just like that. Because you never know what comes to you, and every man will make a stupid mistakes that come right in front of him. So men always tend to make so many mistakes that sometimes we tend to forget about it. It's true. Even our online COTs the last few days and last week, every meeting the same mistakes come again. Still make the same man having the same mistake that Willie and I are still complaining, like bucking up the wall quite a few times. Usually it's a lot. We are like nagging each other like over an uncle discussion. But life is just like that. Because sometimes the more mistakes we make, the more we learn. And men can always make the mistakes to come out a creative solution. Because out of nowhere, you talk nonsensical or you talk rubbish, you get some wonderful ideas that you never thought about. Because a man may make a mistake, but the power of that mistake that makes the man will always keep this Toastmaster changing. Because every time when we discover new ideas, the idea just keep flowing down like the raindrop. And just like how the nice, wonderful Tom Yam Goong can always make someone attracted to it and have a nice, wonderful discussion. Because although the chef may cook it wrongly, but it may be spicy to the tongue, but the chef will always make sure everybody will always enjoy their food without them giving up. So life is just like men had to make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes just like how Hong Kong Carrie Lam also had made a mistake, but she can do it because she makes the recovery in the crisis, and we learn things from crisis. Because out of crisis there is always hope. And remember, life is all about making mistakes and having fun, like having the chicken crossing the road. Back to table topic master.
Thank you, DTM Ong. Okay, the more mistake we have, the more we learn. Thank you very much. So for today, table topics master, I'd like to end this session for now, and back to you, Toastmaster Pim.
Okay, thank you very much. That was fun. So our speaker today is Toastmaster Brian Arthur, and it's a specialty speech project number 4. Read out loud. It's 12 to 15 minutes. The objectives are to arrive at an understanding of the elements that comprise oral interpretation and how it differs from preparing and giving a speech, to learn the preparation of planning techniques of effective interpretation, learn the principle of presentation, and develop skill in interpretive reading with regard to voice and body as instruments of communication. And the title, I don't have a title. What is the title? I cannot hear you. Can you unmute?
The Art of Happiness.
Okay. And the title is The Art of Happiness. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Brian.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters from around the world. Good evening from Thailand, from Chiang Mai, Thailand. Nearly every time you see him, he's laughing, or at least smiling, and he makes everyone else around him feel like smiling. He is the Dalai Lama, the spiritual and temporal leader of Tibet, a Nobel Prize winner, and an increasingly popular speaker and statesman. What's more, he'll tell you that happiness is the purpose of life and that very motion of happiness and our life is toward happiness. The Art of Happiness by Dalai Lama XVI, as written and narrated by Howard Cutler. Part 1, The Purpose of Life. Chapter 1, The Right to Happiness. I believe that the very purpose of our life is to seek happiness. That is clear. Whether one believes in religion or not, whether one believes in this religion or that religion, we are all seeking something better in life. So I think the very motion of our life is toward happiness. With these words spoken before a large audience in Arizona, the Dalai Lama cut to the heart of his message. But his claim that the purpose of life was happiness raised a question in my mind. Later, when we were alone, I asked, "Are you happy?" "Yes," he said. He paused, then added, "Yes, definitely." There was a quiet sincerity in his voice that left no doubt, a sincerity that was reflected in his expression and in his eyes. But is happiness a reasonable goal for most of us? I ask, is it really possible? Yes, I believe that happiness can be achieved through training the mind. On a basic human level, I couldn't help but respond to the idea of happiness as an achievable goal. As a psychiatrist, however, I had been burdened by notions such as Freud's beliefs that one feels inclined to say that the intention that man should be happy is not included in the plan of creation. This type of training had led many in my profession to the grim conclusion that the most one could hope for was the transformation of hysteric misery into common unhappiness. From that standpoint, the claim that there was a clearly defined path to happiness seemed like a quite radical idea. As I look back over my years of psychiatric training, I could rarely recall having heard the word happiness even mentioned as a therapeutic objective. Of course, there was plenty of talk about relieving the patient's symptoms of depression or anxiety, of resolving internal conflicts or relationship problems, but never with an expressly stated goal of becoming happy. The concept of achieving true happiness has, in the West, always seemed ill-defined, elusive, ungraspable. Even the word happy is derived from the Icelandic word hap, meaning luck or chance. Most of us, it seems, share this view of the mysterious nature of happiness. In those moments of joy that life brings, happiness feels like something that comes out of the blue. To my Western mind, it didn't seem the sort of thing that one could develop and sustain simply by training the mind. When I raised that objection, the Dalai Lama was quick to explain, when I say training the mind, in this context, I'm not referring to mind merely as one's cognitive ability or intellect. Rather, I'm using the term in the sense of the Tibetan word sam, which has a much broader meaning, closer to psyche or spirit. It includes intellect and feeling, heart and mind. By bringing about a certain inner discipline, we can undergo a transformation of our attitude, our entire outlook, and approach to living. When we speak of this inner discipline, it can, of course, involve many things, many methods. But generally speaking, one begins by identifying those factors which lead to happiness and those factors which lead to happiness and suffering. Having done this, one then sets about gradually eliminating those factors which lead to suffering and cultivating those which lead to happiness. That is the way. The Dalai Lama claims to have found some measure of personal happiness. And throughout the week he spent in Arizona, I often witnessed how this personal happiness can manifest as a simple willingness to reach out to others, to create a feeling of affinity and goodwill, even in the briefest of encounters. One morning, after his public lecture at Dadayama, was walking along an outside patio on the way back to his hotel room, surrounded by his usual retinue. Noticing one of the hotel housekeeping staff standing by the elevators, he paused to ask her, "Where are you from?" For a moment, she appeared taken aback by this foreign-looking man in the maroon robes and seemed puzzled by the deference of the entourage. Then she smiled and answered shyly, "Mexico." He paused briefly to chat with her for a few moments and then walked on, leaving her with a look of excitement and pleasure on her face. The next morning at the same time, she appeared at the same spot with another of the housekeeping staff, and the two of them greeted him warmly as he got into the elevator. The interaction was brief, but the two of them appeared flushed with happiness as they returned to work. Every day after that, they were joined by a few more of the housekeeping staff at the designated time and place, until by the end of the week, there were dozens of maids in their crisp gray and white uniforms, forming a receiving line that stretched along the length of the path that led to the elevators. Our days are numbered. At this very moment, many thousands are born into the world, some destined to live only a few days or weeks, and then tragically succumb to illness or other misfortune. Others are destined to push through to the century mark, perhaps even a bit beyond, and savor every taste life has to offer. Triumph, despair, joy, hatred, and love. We never know. But whether we live a day or a century, a central question always remains. What is the purpose of our life? What makes our lives meaningful? The purpose of our existence is to seek happiness. It seems like common sense, and Western thinkers from Aristotle to William James have agreed with this idea. But isn't a life based on seeking personal happiness by nature self-centered, even self-indulgent? Well, not necessarily. In fact, survey after survey has shown that it is unhappy people who tend to be most self-focused and are often socially withdrawn, brooding,
and even antagonistic. Happy people, in contrast, are generally found to be more sociable, flexible, and creative, and are able to tolerate life's daily frustrations more easily than unhappy people. And the most important, they are found to be more loving and forgiving than unhappy people. Researchers have devised some interesting experiments demonstrating that happy people exhibit a certain quality of openness, a willingness to reach out and help others. They manage, for instance, to induce a happy mood in a test subject by arranging to have the person unexpectedly find money in a phone booth. Posing as a stranger, one of the experimenters then walked by and accidentally dropped a load of papers. The investigators wanted to see whether the subject would stop to help the stranger. In another scenario, the subject's spirits were lifted by listening to a comedy album. Then they were approached by someone in need, also in cahoots with the experimenter, wanting to borrow money. The investigators discovered that the subjects who were feeling happy were most likely to help someone or to lend money than another control group of individuals who were presented with the same opportunity to help, but whose mood had not been boosted ahead of time. While these kinds of experiments contradict the notion that the pursuit and achievement of personal happiness somehow leads to selfishness and self-absorption, we can all conduct our own experiment in the laboratory of our own daily lives. Suppose, for instance, we're stuck in traffic. After 20 minutes, it finally begins moving again at around parade speed. We see someone in another car signaling that she wants to pull into our lane ahead of us. If we're in a good mood, we're more likely to slow down and wave her on ahead. If we're feeling miserable, our response may simply be to speed up and close the gap. Well, I've been stuck here waiting all this time, why shouldn't they? We begin then with the basic premise that the purpose of our life is to seek happiness. It is a vision of happiness as a real objective, one that we can take positive steps toward achieving. And as we begin to identify the factors that lead to a happier life, we will learn how to search for happiness. Offers benefits not only for the individual, but for the individual's family and for society at large as well. The Art of Happiness, Chapter 1, by the Dalai Lama, as written by Howard Cutler. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster. Please unmute.
Yeah, unmute.
Thank you very much. Good timing too. It's 12 minutes and 6 seconds. Perfect. Now we're going to continue to the evaluation session. And I know we have Toastmaster Angsana to evaluate you. However, I'd like to ask who want to be the general evaluator because I'm going to have to leave soon. I'm looking for a volunteer to take over the meeting. I'm looking for a general evaluator. April, would you like to do that? No? Okay.
Sorry, I'm ready.
Okay, how about Uncle?
What help you need?
We need a general evaluator.
Introduce the evaluators, right?
Right, and then
Okay.
continue with the meeting because I have to leave soon.
Okay. Let me handle.
All right.
You want to boot out?
I'm gonna stay on as long as I could, but then I have to leave.
Okay.
So let me introduce you to our general evaluator of today, Uncle Gerald Ong, DTM.
Okay. I would like to introduce the evaluator of Brian first. So it is Angsana. So Angsana, when you're ready, please unmute your mic and give your evaluation to Brian.
Okay. Toastmaster Brian, congratulations for your speech today. You have the purpose of your life that you are seeking for happiness. That's why you share this topic to us. And I strongly agree with you that we were born to be happy. Okay, for the good point you have, you talk about the art of happiness. And this is very, very good content that you share with us. And you starting with draw people, your audience attention with the character of Dalai Lama, a person that who's smiling, have smiling face all the time. And then you answer, okay, this is Dalai Lama. Okay, so very good opening. And then, in the along the way of your story, you is about read out loud. However, for this project, need the voice and use the body language as an instrument for your communication. So I noticed that you use the same tone and mood for all of your project. So that gives the same feelings. Even there are some stories in the project, like the situation that a person meets in elevator at housekeeping is a little bit of pressure, but still give the same mood or tone of the story. And another story is about the stranger. I saw you use a little bit of hand gesture and then no hand gesture again. So this kind of thing, I remember that you mentioned that, okay, web her something like this, so you can use your hand more when you read out loud to your audience, so that we can see a different mood and tone of the story in your project. So next time I would like to challenge you to add some more for the variety of voice and use your hand to be use your hand to become to increase your presentation to become more effective next time. Okay, back to you, General Evaluator.
Okay, thank you. Angsana, that's our timing. As you see on the screen, that's 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Very good. We don't have an R counter. We don't have a grammarian. Now we can ask. There is no general evaluation. I don't think I have a report because I'm doing timing duty all the way. So everybody kept within their timing pretty good. Pete did a good introduction as a Toastmasters, really good. Transition, despite we feel we use the chat quite effectively. That's the only comment I have. Nothing to improvement. How I wish all the original appointment holders were in. Thankfully I came in again this weekend. Okay, now on the agenda now is the closing remark by our acting chairman, Sita. Over to you.
Thank you everyone for doing the things for me. I do apologize today. I don't know. I don't know for sure what happened because some people confirmed to me already, but I will improve for the next meeting. I will confirm them before the meeting 1 or 2 hours. So thank you for your participating and your sacrifice your time for us. I have to back to our agenda.
Bandwidth issue? Is there a bandwidth issue? Okay.
Okay. Thailand Online Toastmaster Club. The meeting number 46. Adjourn.
Yay.